official work day of the week, and this is still Flow 94.9 FM, the flow of God's own state. A part of our morning show right here, the what we call Morning Spice. And of course, we take a critical look at those issues affecting you and I. We dissect them, and of course, we leave the decision for you to be taken. It is the platform, the pinnacle of all discussions on Flow 94.9 FM, the last edition for the week, today being the 21st day in the month of January 2022. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Michael Oni. Now, this morning we're continuing our conversation on the Ukwa East, Ukwa West Federal Constituency issues, matters arising concerning representation at the National Assembly, talking about the lower chamber anyways, Federal House of Representatives. Of course, we discussed it extensively with the co-convener of Ukwa Leadership Accountability. Of course, issues arising is that umbrella body, of course, speaking under the umbrella, a co-convener said, well, the constituents are asking, they've initiated a recall process. Of course, it is enshrined in the Constitution, and they are basing their argument on underperformance and arrogance, according to them anyways. So to have a balanced discussion so that you make better decisions this morning, we have joining us virtually a member representing Ukwa East, Ukwa West Federal Constituency at the National Assembly. Just talking about House of Representative Uzoma Abonta. Glad to have you join us. Welcome to the platform.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning to you. Oh, thank you very much. You can also join this conversation on Rail 99.1 FM in Aba. So let's begin the conversation. I'm sure you must have heard in the news, you must have read in the newspaper that some persons, your constituents, those you represent at the National Assembly, are asking you to come back home. They've initiated the process as enshrined in the Constitution. How did you receive the news? What was your immediate reaction?
Oh, well, I heard the news, I read certain things, but all that, all fallacy and malicious statements without basis, without foundation, but the truth is known. I looked at the people doing this, there are not more than 14 paid and sponsored meetings, you know, and if they say they want to record me, it's constitutional, it's also their right to engage in that. So I believe in legality, I believe in constitutionalism, their reasons being canvassed is unfounded. The reason being canvassed is not true. It's even malicious and at times personal. But I don't intend to join issues with them. I don't. One thing of note is that they are disgruntled persons who are on the other party and PDP. I know the handwork of those who are doing it. They are being sponsored.
Okay.
So,
okay, let's delve into some of the issues being raised by them before we go back to the issue of maybe they are being sponsored or not. Let's look at the major thing they raised. The major issue they raised is that there is no identifiable project, that's according to them, that you've attracted in about 15 years of your representation at the National Assembly.
Oh, well, facts don't lie. My projects are everywhere there. In one breath, they said I have projects scattered everywhere and abandoned, and in one breath. So you can't read on between lines. There's some people told you I have scattered projects everywhere and many are abandoned. So that means that there are projects. Am I right?
Okay, I'm getting you. Yes, yeah.
That means there are projects. So I have road projects, I have school projects, I have medical projects. They're all there. I also have human capital projects. I have agricultural projects. They're all there. They see it. Some of them are beneficiaries. But how do you think somebody without an identified project for 15 years and is still being elected? That doesn't baffle you? Am I a magician?
Well, the same question that I put up during this conversation on Wednesday, put up to Comrade Okadibo, and he said that maybe he made the allegation that you only back on the lacuna in our electoral process. That's why you've been there for 15 years. I don't know how you've been able to convince your people.
What kind of lacuna? People go to vote you, speak to them, you appeal to them, then you point out things, and they must have benefited directly and that they've seen what you're doing. For example, can anybody say he's not seen a hospital, or he's not seen a school block, or he's not seen farms? And let me also tell you, my legislative cardinal point is agriculture and entrepreneurship, because that's the only thing I perceive to be alternative to oil economy. There's no work anywhere. The only work available readily there is agriculture business, and that is my cardinal principle. As I speak to you, I have over 40 farms and ongoing businesses of different persons. They even made, during some they gave me a reminder call to go and visit how they are doing. I'm satisfied they are doing well. They're in fishing, they're in poultry, they're in palm oil mill. Of course, palm oil is good money. Palm oil is more expensive than crude oil. They're in palm oil, they're in piggery, in fact, I went to one farm, I saw over 50 big pigs. So, why? How can they see these things? Because of their...
Maybe we should maybe you should use this platform to debunk some of those insinuations, according to you, raised by them. Let's go to the specifics of your project. What are the specific projects that you've attracted for the good people of Ukwa West and Ukwa East? Maybe we should list them.
I'm telling you, I may be able to list them categorically now one, but I wrote projects. They all okay. Let me start this way.
Okay.
Anywhere you see roads, asphalt in Ukwa East and West, they are done by me. Let them show me the one done by federal government or state government. And there are little of roads in there. However, the entry point is bad. I agree. I also brought it. The East Extraction has done more than 90% with bridges done up till Akwa Ibom. It's my work. So anywhere, let the comrade of whatever we called show me any road there, not my work. So ask him how many roads are there in Ukwa East and West. There are not less than 30 roads or thereabout in Ukwa East and West. Asphalt, are you hearing me clearly?
I'm getting you. You're live. I can hear you loud and clear.
Let them show me the one done by or attracted by not me.
Interesting. Well, in case you just joined us.
We have structures now. For example, if you go to Akwete, you see the area command is there. If you go to some of the schools, you will see schools. Some of the signposts still carry my name. Go to Mpuruba and Samada, you see my health centers. The only thing they faulted me, which I agree with them, is that I don't run media to come and showcase what I've done. You do something of 1 million naira, you spend 2 million on media to show what you've done. That's the only thing that keeps me, and I agree. I'm guilty of that. I don't do media.
Okay, they also mentioned that you've never called for a constituency meeting, maybe a town hall meeting to address them since you've been representing them.
It's laughable. When I read that from them, I went to my archives and got videos of constituency meetings called. And there I saw a lot of some of the persons who are old, who are dead, and so on. Some of them are also in that picture. In those, some of them saying this now. I've called meetings. As in some of those meetings, at the end of it, I will also give out little gifts. Some people call it empowerment gift. I don't call it empowerment gift. Empowerment that is not entitled to entrepreneurship is not empowerment. I call it gift. At the end of those meetings, I also give out those gifts. It could be Okada, Keke, blah blah blah, and so on. All right? The records are there. The records are there. So how can they say so? If they don't attend, where were they then? I may ask. Look.
Continuous interaction is also one of the banes of quality representation. I'm sure you agree with me.
Listen.
Yes.
It's only in 2020-21 that we didn't have a serious gathering and meeting. And you know why? You know why? Then you are not affected by COVID. Were there gatherings? It's only 2020 and 21 that we never gathered. We gather regularly.
Okay,
I will show you. If you are visual, I will have shown you. The pictures don't lie. I will have shown you them.
All right. In case you just joined us, it's a special interview with the member representing Ukwa East, Ukwa West Federal Constituency at the National Assembly. That's at the lower chamber. And of course, matters arising from his representation. You must have heard in the news where his constituents are asking him to resign or face recall. Of course, it is being led by Coalition of Ukwa Leadership Accountability. We spoke with members of that coalition on Wednesday. To be precise, the co-convener of that coalition, Comrade Okadibu. And of course, for balanced conversation, we're speaking with Representative Uzoma Abonta, who has been representing the good people of Ukwa East and West Federal Constituency for about 15 years now. Now, I want to ask you, Representative, some allegations were raised when I had that conversation with Comrade Okadibu, and he said your constituency office in Ukwa has been under lock and key. And that brings to question continuous interaction even after election. He said that place is only active only during electioneering period. I don't know how you want to respond to that.
Okay. He said it's been under lock and key for 15 years.
Exactly.
That means never had any. They have not been up to 15 years there. So if you do investigative journalism, all you need to do is to go to the office. Is that enough? How do I get my mails? How do I get my letters and so on? It's through there. This same Okadibu picked up on the secretary that is there and wrote all nonsense about. See, now, let me tell you one thing that will bear. You say Okadibu is the co-convener. Who is the other convener? Then you will know the masquerades and the reason why they are doing what they are doing. You see, my office is at Obehe, opposite the police station. It's open. It won't be open at odd hours. At the reasonable official hours, it remains open. In fact, it was a beach to know I don't even have only one concession. That's the major concession. I also have shop in my own LG. I'm from Ukwa East. Down is from Ukwa West. Open is from Ukwa West. That's my main. But I also have other outposts where I can also receive it. I also have aids in all the wards as called contact point. So if you can't leave your ward, you go to the contact point to come to bring your documents if you cannot come to the constituency office. So must I appoint them one before they know it exists? Or must I employ them before they know the office is open?
Then how often do you interact with the people? Because we quite understand the situation in Nigeria where the gap between the governed and the government is so wide. And one of the duties of you as a lawmaker is, of course, to bridge that gap. So how often do you interact with the people of Ukwa East, Ukwa West?
I interact regularly with them. What I do not do is to sit out, to drink, and go into drugs with the lives of the conveners. Interactions, I do. As we speak now, I interact with them. December, we interacted very, very well. I meet them, I see them. You see, when they say they don't, I come home regularly. Almost every weekend I'm in my constituency. If they say they don't see me out in social outing, they may be right. They don't see me out to sit down and beer parlors and drink, they may be right. But if it's formal, constructive interaction engagement, I do. I do. My doors are open. My fence is very low that you can see me from outside and I can see you. My doors are open. I take my telephone calls. I've not changed my line ever since. This is still my line. One line. So, if Comrade Okadibu says I don't interact, November he was in my office in Abuja and we talked. He was in my office in Abuja. Ask him. So, if I can't afford what you want of me, does that make me incompetent? Does that make me not responsible? Does that make me? I mean, come on, you can see it's political. You don't demarcate somebody that way maliciously. But my happiness is that people know. I'm known by my people, and my people, they know me. I'm not a far legislator. I come home weekends. In 4 weekends in a month, I do home at least 3. You can check, you can cross-check. You can cross-check. So how do you say I don't interact?
So are you saying you have nothing to worry about because they said they've initiated the recall process?
My brother.
And petition has been written to INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu.
Well, I've not been contacted. Why would I lose a sleep when I know that what they're saying is fallacy? It's wrong. It's not correct. You see? So, running propaganda. You know one thing they did for me? They advertised me. And I'll ask who is afraid of Abonta. Because out here in Abuja, some people will say, what's some of the people put? Are they well? Are they crazy? Don't they know your what? Yesterday I was at Channel. People called me and said, to discuss national issues, not the particular issue. People are saying this, that. I say, well, it's up to you to judge. Let me also ask you, what is the function of a legislator, please? What's the core function? Let me ask you. In the area of my core function, they're not even talking. I have remained 4 consecutive times in the 4 tenures. They elected the best legislator by seasoned journalist press corps. I do not aware of my legislative exploits at the floor of the house. Let me remind you again. If you want to ask a difficult question in Nigeria or worldwide, you go to Google my name, or go to YouTube. My legislative will show. It will show. Just enter Uzoma Nkem Abonta or Nkem Abonta. And whatever that thing gives you is a search engine. They are search engine. You will take. So how can I have that international acclamation, national, state, for some group of persons to now say I am not competent? They pay for 15 years. So how come people keep electing me 15 years? Is he saying that those people are stupid? Of course, he said it while talking with you, that they are very poor and hungry, stupid delegates. He said it. That's why they keep voting me. But it's not true. And I have my scorecard. I will send you a copy. I have volume 1 and 2. Volume 1 states from 209 to 211. The other one starts from 211 to about 215. The other one is also coming out. The projects with names, pictures, signatures, and so on. They're there. And I shared it. I didn't share it from my house. I shared it from town hall meetings. After talk and say, take my scorecard, read, ask me questions. How can anybody say I've not been calling, I've not called any, that my office is under lock and key? Granted, there was about 2 months about we did renovation. We locked and did renovation. Could that 2-3 months mean 15 years?
So you're saying that this has a political coloration, although the coalition
serious coloration.
The coalition said they consist of individuals from different political parties, not minding maybe your PDP, your Rabga, and they came up with that decision. Why do you say it has political coloration?
Now let me tell you, the co-convener and founder of that coalition and their sponsors were still remain of APC. Some of them had now applied and joined PDP. They also, the so-called founder and co-convener are also applying now to join by weekend or thereabouts. So, could it be they are afraid upon joining PDP or having joined PDP, there won't be a place to stand if Uzoma is standing, if Abonta is standing? Therefore, can we dethrone him? Can we push him away so we can have a space? It's like I'm occupying all the space. So they are coming into here now. Which space would they be? Except I give space, they can't have space. Otherwise, that will ask you, who is the co-convener? What is his status? What status does he want to change to shortly in a few days' time? It's how which you can find out these things so you can come back again with do the discussion. So people will be knowledgeable, will be known. How can anybody within Abia say I am not a good representation? legislative. They know, and I'm sure you know it. Being a journalist, I'm sure you follow the House work. I'm right, you follow it. If you follow the House work, then can you believe them? Can you agree with them? Having seen my legislative exploits, having seen my works, I had the largest number of bills shortly. For the past first tenure, second tenure, third tenure, I had the highest number of bills. As I speak to you now, the different presidents have assented to some of my bills, not less than 5 that became law. Is that a mean feat? Is that a mean feat? That became law. If you are not going to call it Abonta law. So, you don't call a dog a bad name to hang me. They can wait 2023, they vote me out if they can. If they can.
All right, interesting. It is still the platform, the pinnacle of all discussions, and of course we're live on Flow 94.9 FM. You can also join the conversation on Real 99.1 FM. We've been speaking with the member representing Ukwa East, Ukwa West Federal Constituency, Honorable Nkem Uzoma Abonta. Of course, he's speaking on his representation, and of course, definitely we delve into some national issues. But those matters arising from his representation even has been raised by some of his constituents, asking him to resign of his recall. According to them, due to underperformance and arrogance. Let's get to that. I'm sure you want to address that. Now, there was this event that took place, Undoki, where you mentioned, you made a statement. He said, the camel, I'm trying to quote him, I hope I'm not quoting out of context. He said the camel that broke, he said something about something breaking the camel's back. That was when you made a statement about the people having their cakes and eating it. You can't eat your cake and have it. Some statement being made by you
yes,
during an event. When you made a comment concerning their road, we all understand how bad the road to Ukwa is at this time. Even as that place, that local government is the only local, all producing local government in Abia State. So the comment infuriated them, according to him, and that was one of the major reasons that they started this recall, they initiated the recall process. So how will you react to that? They call it arrogance.
Dear presenter, let me put it through, and if possible, I also get you that video clip to watch. Listen, this person started attacking my program. I do praise night every 30th.
Okay.
They started through their media asking people not to come, saying it was not proper. So come and praise God, though. I do a praise night every 30th, all praise night, and it attracts thousands of persons. Of course, the program held successfully. On the 3rd, they had an Ndoki summit. The PRO of that Ndoki summit is the founder of Confula and the co-convener. I attended very well. They talked so much on the road. The road in question is Obehe, Azumiri, Ukanaf, whatever road. They talked about it. I should come and explain why the road is that bad and so. No, that's okay. I will honor the. That's okay. No, I should explain to them. I said, no, why not? I can explain right now. I took the microphone, exchanged pleasantries, and spoke with them. I said, gentlemen, I need not remind you that when that road came, people inserted and built a lot of things and encumbered the road. I need not remind you that I made a lot of effort to let them remove those things. I need not remind you that you all witnessed it. In fact, if I quote myself, I said there were more than 79 filling stations, 121 graveyards, several markets, and so on. The federal government said we are not going to pay compensation because these things were not there. I had several town hall meetings to say, take this away so we can hand over the corridors to the company to proceed. When this thing didn't work, I now had to beg the company to start from the middle. They started. That is why from Obuohia, the home of one of the ladies that came to do that program has been done till the end point, the Z point, being Akwa Ibom, done to our life with bridge. Now, when the other section that was not done, when the people now said, okay, they got paid, no compensation, and the people now started talking and convinced them, they say, let's come and do this other side. The company and left and demanded payment before they can come back. CEECC, a Chinese company. And they said they are owing them 3 billion in account of the bridges they've done outside. So if they get it, they mobilize back to site. My brother, we've been on it. And I said that why people saw these things? We did ourselves a disservice. So we can't eat our cake and have it. But what we have to do now is to look for ways to work on. So I want you to put that in the context of what happened, what I said. They can't just pick it. They can't just pick what I said out of the context of the full discussion. Then I wanted to say, we did ourselves that disservice. What we have to do now is to see what means do we do to getting achieved. And I went on to tell them, look at what I'm doing, that I've made a lot of effort to get the company back or get some people who will do it. I've told them my visits in Ministry of Niger Delta and asked them, can they raise a team so we can also go to see the minister again? And so that we also know that what I'm saying every day is not just as it affects me only. But because there are people who are laying ambush and wait for you, they just pick that thing out of context. So, but they never bothered to say, those infractions I claimed, were they there? Yes. They never bothered to find out those obstructions that stopped and hindered the road, were they there? No. Was that not self-inflicted injury by ourselves? Maybe I used the choice of what I would have said, we inflicted injury on ourselves. Maybe I would have said that. So, but they never bothered to look at what I claimed or what I alleged.
Maybe your comment, like you said, iked the people and they got angry. Some of those iked by the comment wondered and they said, how will you make such comment against your people? Are you willing to apologize for making that comment? Because they are saying that you should come out and apologize to them if you got them angry. Yes.
Presenter, wait, listen to me. Why didn't you ask them those things I said? Did it happen? Hi, why wouldn't you? Don't distort the facts. You ought to have asked them, where did people put these petrol stations that were imaginary
shrines, markets, and the filling stations?
Yes, you would have asked them, did they put it? If the answer is yes, have I wronged them in what I said?
Then the issue of negotiating a way to construct, to continue the construction on that road is another issue raised. I said you never negotiated with the people and also the company to find a way of finding that project, ensuring that project is a reality.
Do I fly to my room? It's not the road I pass. I've had not less than 7 meetings with Ministry of Niger Delta. I can't negotiate with Chinese company. What will I tell Chinese company? They'll tell you our money, pay us, we'll go back to fight. So how will I negotiate with the people? What will I going to tell the man you are owing 3 billion and say, but it's not the ministry you negotiate with. Say, please release fund. And I told them, when Jonathan was there, he was funding the road yearly. Then the exception of APC, considering my hardliner as PDP of Jonathan, they don't fund the road. So instead of these APC people coming to attack, we want to go and tell their party people to fund the road. Why can't they come? Why can't they do this confula and we go and see the Minister of Niger Delta? Is that the appropriate thing to do? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you, representative.
Not to do, since all the parties are there, can't they gather and that way we'll go and meet the people? I told them I will be with them, I will lead them. So the minister will tell them how much I have come, what I have done, and all that.
Interesting. All right, if you just joined us, it's a special interview with Representative Uzoma Abonta, of course, on the platform, the pinnacle of all discussions. And of course, you're listening to Michael. My name is Michael Oni, and he's been speaking on his representation and the allegation raised by some of his constituents that he's underperforming. Of course, he has responded to some of those issues raised. We had a time with the coalition of Ukwa leadership accountability Kofula, and of course some other issues have been raised. But before we move on to some other issues this morning, I would like to take a break, and when we return, we continue the conversation, and the lines will be open. You will get to hear from the people what they think about your explanation, because The decision is meant for them to take after this explanation, so that we have a balanced discussion this morning on the platform on Flow FM. Thank you very much, and stay tuned. Thank you very much for staying tuned. Still the platform, the pinnacle of all discussions, and a special interview with Representative Uzoma Abonta. Of course, he represents Ukwa East, Ukwa West Federal Constituency at the National Assembly. And we're looking at his representation, the recent call by some of his constituents to recall him. He should resign. He has responded to some of those issues raised. You can be part of the conversation. I'm going to take the numbers slowly, especially for those listening on Real 99.1 FM, so that you can catch the numbers. That it might be different from your regular number, so that you can participate, especially those listening from Ukwa axis of Abia State. 0808 182 6949, 0811 605 2949. You can also drop messages on 0906 510 8289. Also drop messages on facebook.com/Flow949FM. We're live there. We're on the program. You can watch what is happening in the studio virtually. 0808 182 6949, 0811 605 2949. Also drop messages on 0906 510 8289. Well, the representative is listening and ready to answer your questions and your comments, react to your comments. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, my name is Comrade Manuel Okawok. I'm calling from Aba.
You're welcome, comrade.
Yeah, Honorable, good morning.
Morning.
Michael, let me quickly ask Honorable a few questions. He had been there good 15 good years. And the people agitating, because I know, and I know you very, very well, you can't tell me that you have done massively well in that your constituency. I want to ask a question. Are you planning to come back again?
I can't answer yes or no. The election period is 2023. The promise will be days. I always consult. I'm not retired. I will consult if consultations are favorable. Fine. But let me also remind you that legislators are not tenured as long as they keep voting you. So I will talk with my people, and including people like you and wife. The opinion reflects. If they say no, why will I continue? If they say yes, why not? But not a handful of some persons who are not happy because I brought NDLA to have an office in the area would tell me to go.
All right, let's get more reactions on the phone lines. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
You're welcome. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Yes, I've spoken with him in a sister station and I made my point. But there are a few other issues I want to raise now. First of all, I think the recall process is a process in law. It happened to Dino and one other person. We thought it was impossible, and we did it. Even what brought Shomole sometime was part of it. But let's not go there. I think the threat of this thing should be real because of the kind of electoral system we are running here. Some people just enter into the office and feel that it is rule, but it's part of the ways now to galvanize them into talking. Like he has alleged that he has not been talking, he has not been a media person, but now that there is a threat of recall, he's now in the media. That is it. But again, we are not looking for an utopian society. People must be able to say that you have done creditably well, that is visible to the people. And in the other station, he said he cited a police station and then the NDDC office now. And I said, are you the one citing or is the people that are requesting? Because you don't just come and cite a project that does not add value to the people. The people will say we want water, then you give them water. If they say they want price, you give them. If it is road, you don't say and then decide what you will cite. especially when you are not there. Like, let me repeat, you are in Abuja and you visit here, but you live in Abuja. Consult properly, relate with the people, meet them, so that they will say, this is our need. You come there, assess it, and then you cite it.
All right,
it's not a thing that you just give and dole out, because people are not
let's allow him
according to their needs. But let us grow our democracy, mature it, and then we'll be
in Abuja. Most weekends, we're home. We work Monday to Friday. Most weekend, you can come to my village this weekend. I'm always there. Most weekend, I go to work on Monday to work and I return. Meanwhile, I don't side projects from Abuja. I have also people who represent me all the wards. I have office, constitutional office, 2 in fact, or 1.5. One in Obe, half in Oka East, where people cannot put complaints. And I reach out. And before we start the program, we'll go to the chiefs, who they will provide the land. But again, I know certain things that we all need in common. We all need light. We all need road. Hospitals, let me tell you, it's only where there's no existing health center that I could cite one. Where there's an existing one, I would rather try to refurbish it or get the drugs. Look, it will tell you to know that I had a free medical scheme, not ad hoc, continuous. I was using copper doctors. During the time of kidnapping, it wasn't my clinic that worked. So, I know what you're talking. If I've not done plenty according to them, but I've done something. They should acknowledge that one. They should even say those projects that I cited on my own.
Okay.
Than saying I didn't do anything. You are now saying I cited it without reference. So that means there's a project.
All right, Representative, let's get more reactions.
But I've heard what you said. I'll begin to consult more.
Yes. Good morning to you. Welcome.
Hello, good morning.
You're welcome. Good morning.
Honorable, good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, you are spoken well. I've been following your comments.
What's your name and where you're calling from?
Incredibly.
What's your name and where you're calling from?
I'm Comrade Abonta from Omahia.
All right, comrade.
Please, you have done incredibly well, but there is a mind. There is no way you please everybody. But another thing I want to tell you, based on what the last speaker said, you don't incite projects that you feel like you are fighting the people. You incite projects that the people want. 2, we have leaders of tomorrow. Have you looked at it in an angle that there are some vibrant youth that is looking for a way to be in that office? But due to already you are already there, they can't do anything than to find a way. Let them showcase their talent and what they are meant for as a group, as a youth. Because they need to be there. You have been there for 4 times, as you said. It's not one man's affair. So if they want to agitate that others need to be there, then you step down. Let the masses vote you out, not maybe one man's business.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. He's going to respond to that. Let's take 4-5 calls, then you respond at once, Representative. Hello, good morning to you. Okay, that didn't pull through. I guess that's a network issue. Hello, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning.
You're welcome. What's your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, this is
Can you move away from your radio set, please? Can you move away from your radio set? There is a hall back from your radio. Can you hear me? Can you please move away from your radio set so that we can have a smooth conversation?
Yes, I can.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, I am only saying that I know him for long. He used to be very industrious in the way practicing as a lawyer. And I'm not from a party or from that area, but I really know him. And as you see him things, I've just called for the first time. This is my first time. But I have an advice. In fact, he knows me also. You just mentioned CN, and they need to select the number and call me. I need a very personal advice. I just want to speak to him.
All right. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us. Hello, good morning to you. Welcome.
Hello.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Michael, you cut me off. I wanted to...
I didn't cut you. It was the network. All right.
Okay.
Quickly, you have 30 seconds.
My name remains Manuel Okawoko. Please, like what the second or last caller said, please, I want to beg you for a particular thing, because there is so much young guys that have intellectual mobile. They are intellectual mobile. They have the capacity, they have the capability to push the constituency forward. If you have been there good 15 good years, I don't think that you have another idea or new idea that will initiate that you never initiate 15 good years. Allow your constituency to bring another people to move that constituency forward.
All right,
please,
comrade.
What you said now, you look like you want to come back.
Oh, yeah. My response is simple.
Comrade.
I agree that no man is an island, no man has one wisdom, where new and fresh blood must come. But let me remind you something about legislation. It's not executive. The more you mature, you are good on the job. Yeah. Because that was why the makers of the Constitution and the worldwide did not tenor legislation as many times as they can bring you. The old wine is better when matured, because you learn on that. If you just bring the new person, I'm not saying I'm going to speak, but if the people please or are pleased with my work, why would I tell them no?
All right. So, hello, good morning to you. Welcome.
I'm calling from Omar. Good morning, Honorable Abonta.
Good morning.
Please, I'm calling you from Omar here. I heard what you said, and I'm against people calling for a record by this time. I expected them to wait till 2023 if what you've said that your vote is good enough for them. They will use their PVC to encourage you. If you are against what you are saying, we will reject you or bring a better person by 2023. But I'm against them recording for now, because we have less than 2 years to go. The primary should be conducted this year by the grace of God, and then the main election should be next year. Then secondly, the issue of I want to fault where you said that all the asphalted road in Okwa was attracted by you, or were attracted by you. My problem remains, the problem of these people, Okwa East and West, lies in the people of that local government. Because we have NADC, the presence of Asopadek, the presence of NADC, the presence of Shell Company, the presence, they'll be receiving international. We see have senator representing the we see have federal house member, we have local government. Others, we have a house member, state house member. I don't think this is one. That state, two local governments will be in that shape. Those former Senate presidents, look at, if you go to where you cry, both east and west. So the problem of that region is in you. And you are still having international funds that are coming from federal government and international community. You can't tell me that place will be like that.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us. He's going to respond to your comment. Hello, good morning to you. Welcome.
Hello.
You're welcome. Good morning.
Good morning, Michael.
Good morning.
I am Eze. I'm calling from Umuala City, specifically Umualuku.
All right, Eze.
On the issue of Honorable Uzoma Abonta's purported record by his constituency, I think the people of Okwa should be more careful about the way they go about it. Besides, that man, Comrade Okadigo, have not told us he's actually sponsoring them at this point in time. Let me stop here.
All right, thank you for sharing your thoughts with us. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello.
Good morning. Yes, good morning to you.
I'm really grateful for inviting Honorable Abonta to defend himself. You see, just as the last week I said, it is left for the masses now to decide, that is people from his constituency, to decide either to recall him or not. Nobody should force him. Then, to me, they should allow him in 2023. When if he are not perform well, then they will not vote him. But if he perform well, they can go ahead. People like Alton Goribe served in the Senate for more than 20 years. So everybody knows that both the House of Reps and the senators, their terms are not limited. So it should be allowed.
And I see this as conspiracy. Listen to what his explanation. I'm kind of Uzoma from Ogari Sukuato. God bless you.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
You're welcome. Please move away from your radio set. Thank you.
My name is Barrister. I'm calling from Macaulay Street.
All right, Barrister.
You see, one thing about PDP as a party is that they have prominent men. But there is a foundational issue with PDP. They don't say it. They don't say the truth. In fact, PDP is the number one party in Nigeria that can carry propaganda. The man from West, they have been doing well, but due to the fact that PDP state level has not been living up to expectation, there's no way that you can mention PDP in the ear of everybody in other states, and they will not be against PDP. The problem is from the state level and not from the representatives. And moreover, these are legislatures. They are not meant to build roads. They are meant to attract projects. So when you're talking about you did not do this, you did not do that, mind you that the primary work of the legislator is to make law and not to build roads. So this man has not what he has done. So the problem with Okwa East and Okwa West is with the state government who have not been able to do anything for them, and not this young man. Where I supported this man is using the wrong party to make his presentation, playing his politics.
All right, Barrister.
I'm advising you to change PDP and go to Rabat. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us. Let's run through the messages so that you can respond to your comments and your questions. Good morning, Representative Nkem Abonta. It's obvious you don't carry your people along. Please, for the remaining months, try and run all-inclusive representation. Again, please don't go again after this tenure. Allow other people to go, because you're definitely not the only person in the federal constituency. That's coming from KC Epo Martins. Okay. This one says, Honorable, what will be your next political step if finally you are recalled by your constituents? This is Chisco for Love from Abba. And the next one says, Honorable Abonta is doing very well. It's just that he's not the media noise-making type. That's coming from Apparanta Donny. And this one says, Mike, thanks for the balanced information by inviting the Honorable to defend himself. It is left for the people to either recall or allow him to finish his term. Another option is to wait for him till 2023. Kanu Zomba from Isekweto. Good morning, Mr. Moderator. Please help me remind Honorable Abonta that he makes it to the National Assembly courtesy of his people. I suggest he's home and makes peace with his people. Mr. Albasi from Umuahia. This one says, after 15 years, do you still want to go back? Please have another person try. Eze from Undume. You can respond to those comments and contribution now. Representative Uzoma Abonta.
Oh, thank you very much. I also want to thank everyone who contributed by voice or meeting. The advice are well taken. If they can recall, it's part of the electoral process. So let it be, if they can. But if they can't, and I know they can't, because the people asking for the recall are a handful, they are secretly hiding, going about to collect signature and all whatnot. I know. So I'll leave that at that. Then, because of my people, I came to the house. Because of my people, I remain in the house. I can't please everybody. Let me remind the writer of that Jesus even had enemies. He tried to carry people along. They called him drunkard. I relate with my people. If they really did a courtesy, then that means I lost nomination. Then I will stay. I'm not saying do or die, but consciously, I am conscious. My case is always open to them. But there are people who, even if you give them their blood, they won't be happy. Particularly those who are pursuing a contract, who are on a contract to pull him down. If you give somebody a contract to build a road, until the road is done, he won't let go. If you also give somebody a contract and pay him to destroy somebody, maybe until he does that, he won't let go, but they cannot do it. Because people with me are more than those who are against me. You know, he's saying 15 years I shouldn't go again. Why? People mature in the legislature after first, second time. If you go to America or UK, even though the clans are different in terms of their welfare. They say some that
did you at any time reach out to the Coalition of Ukwa Leadership Accountability?
No. I must frank with you. One.
Okay.
Somebody declared war and said resign within, no, he said call a town hall meeting within 48 hours or resign. Okay, another people reason and say, come on, what kind of condition is this? That is not.
Whoa. All right, we're going to reach out to him just before we wrap up the program so that we can finalize this thought. It is still the platform, the pinnacle of all discussions. Of course, we're live on Flow 94.9 FM. We're also live on Rail 99.1 FM. We've been speaking with Representative Uzoma Abonta of Ukwa East, Ukwa West Federal Constituency at the Federal House of Representatives. And of course, to have a balanced conversation, you have an idea of what is happening. Let me run through it again for those that do not know, in case you're just joining the conversation. His constituents, so to say, just to break it down, his people are threatening his recall from the House of Representatives over alleged poor performance. Of course, it is being led by under the umbrella of the Coalition of Ukwa Leadership Accountability. We spoke with Comrade Okadibo, the co-convener. Anyways, the representative said it has a political undertone. It has a political coloration. They are being sponsored. Why are they coming at this time? He has represented his people for about 15 years. But he wasn't... he didn't come out to say he's running in the next election. He said he will definitely consult with his people, and if they say yes, go ahead, and he will, and if say no, he won't. So he's open to consultation. He wasn't specific about it. Anyways, I think we have him back so that we can finalize the thoughts. And also finalize the conversation, rather, so that we can finalize it. Hello, can you hear me now? Hello? Can you hear me? Okay, I think that's how far we can go at this hour on the platform. Many thanks for you that joined, for those that joined on Real 99.1 FM, and also many thanks for you, of course, regular listener of the platform, the pinnacle of all discussions on Flow 94.9 FM. The conversation continues on our social media platforms at Flow 949 FM, both on Facebook, Twitter, and also Instagram. Many thanks to the producer of the program, Samson Eze, and the guys behind the visuals on our Facebook page, Stanley and Chinedu. Do enjoy the rest of your day. Stay out of trouble. My name is Michael Oni.